Brian back here with a look at Kaspa. We're going to take a look at a few other charts here. Having a nice bounce back today, right? This does not mean at all that this is a start of an alt season right here. This is just a bounce back, right? After being beat down $19 billion in liquidations, you're going to have a bounce, right? I mean, that's what happens. But was this the shakeout, the final shakeout we were looking for? Push people out of the market, get the market pushing back up, get people to Fomo back in. Could absolutely be exactly what's going on, right? You got some stuff really, really bouncing up here. If we take a look at the week, look at this. Oh, look at this. What is this thing? Rank number 40, up 403 spots. Wow. Unbelievable. That's a pretty good week. A 45x. Not too bad, for sure. Alright, if we take a look at the month. Not so horrible in the month, right? Not too bad, I guess. Got some, not real great either, right? Zcash up a 4x, Dash up 100%. Kind of definitely cut into some gains out there for sure. All right, now let's take a look at a few things here. I said before, every time we seem to get down into fear, extreme fear, it tends to mark bottoms, right? You can see here we came down here down to a 40, excuse me, which would have put us into fear right here, and you can see price ran up after that. Right over here, extreme fear, right here, marked the bottom, ran back up. Here you had extreme fear. Market did come down for one more final flush before that big push up. Over here, marked the bottom. All right, you can see price pushed up after that. Here we had another extreme fear event that marked the bottom right in through here. It tends to mark bottom areas, right? If we come out in the last year, look at this here. Yeah, right here, that's where it had that massive run back up. And also right here, where we had that final sweep of the liquidity and push up, right? Right back over here, we came down into fear, right? Marked the bottom, pushed back to the top. We're at 31 right now. Into fear. Okay, that's I told you that's where I would like to see it. That's where it's at. That is a very good sign, if you ask me. I think that's fantastic, right? Let's take a look at a few things here. Altcoin season is at a 42 out of 100. That brought down a lot of these RSIs for sure. The average out there is at 44.68. Okay, now the last 7 days, take a look at the big. This is the top 100. You still got Zcash up 57%, Dash up 56%, Tau up 23%. And if we take it the biggest losers for the week, this is your top 100, right? Plasma's down 50%, Double Zero 46%. You got some pretty decent pullbacks there for sure, right? Buy the fear, right? That's what they say out there. Buy the fear. Buy red, sell green. All right. I'm 100% a believer in that. That is it's not financial advice. It's kind of a fact, really. If you want to succeed, with trading, you buy red, sell green. I mean, pound that in your head. The crypto bubbles we took a look at here. Let's go over here to these. This was the article on the $19 billion in liquidations. Unbelievable. That is that's a pullback for sure. Bitcoin dominance. What were we looking for on this thing? Right up around what was it, 60.5%. Let's zoom in here and take a look at this. This is Bitcoin. I want to get on Bitcoin dominance here. I do want to show you because this stuff could be all falling right together, right the way we want it. We haven't. That alt season hasn't gone anywhere, everybody. All right. I don't think Don't think just because we had a massive pullback. Perfectly normal, man. Perfectly normal stuff, right? 2021. Let's see over here. I mean, look at the pullback. This was dominance. We'll take a look here though. All right, here's dominance. We come over here, the target we were looking for. We definitely got it, right? This thing wicked up actually to 63.45%. We come in on a daily. That's where we ended up closing though. All right, you can see the wick up there. Look at that. Perfect retest off the bottom of this trend line. Bottom of the trend line. You got this wick up through. That's because of volatility that day. But you can see where it closed perfectly where we were looking. Right in this 60 to 60.8%. Right in the area we're looking for. And here we go. Starting to roll over here. The daily RSI, beautiful. Heading down, right? Perfect. That's what we want to see. You got the weekly. The weekly is turning to the upside here. That's gonna roll. It's gonna roll over. All right. The monthly still heading down towards that bottom area, right about in the middle here, really. Okay. But we're looking for this drop, right? That's what we're looking for. A drop down below that 57.2%. Okay, to really get this thing going. Back like over in 2021, when we lost this level, that's when things really started to kick in here. All right, right before the 2021 alt run. Look at this run. Dominance had up to 73%. Okay, before it really ended up crashing over for alt season here. All right, now let's go over and take a look at Bitcoin. Then we're going to take a look at Kaspa's chart. Boy, that was crazy what Kaspa pulled back to. Absolutely insane. And if you look at Bitcoin here, structurally, look at this. This is on a weekly. It hasn't broken anything. You have a trend line out here, right? Right out to there that is not broken. Here's the wick from the other day. And here's how much it's pulled back up in. Has not broken anything structurally. All right. Do have a little bit. You have a lower low here. You do have that. But as much as this thing is pulled back up in, I mean, from the low back up to where we are now, it's back up 15.25%. All right. So Bitcoin definitely making a run back up there. We've got this daily. One thing I do want to keep an eye on here, all right? I want to put this fib on Bitcoin, and I want to keep an eye when this thing gets back up here. It's getting there towards that 618,702, all right? I want to see what happens up here. If it gets rejected, it starts rolling over, or if it breaks up through. If it breaks 112,350, 142 area would be that next target. Okay, so definitely keep an eye on this. The daily RSI, just getting ready to turn back to the upside. In fact, in a couple hours, it should be. It should be reset. The weekly is rolling over a little bit here. All right, and the monthly. Let's check the monthly out here. Where's it at? You got the monthly rolling over here. All right, 12-hour heading to the upside. 4-hour. See where the 4 is at. 4-hour still heading up. All right, so this is going to be very, very interesting once it gets up here in this box. Okay, we're going to put this up here and see what happens here. See if it breaks through, or if we get a rejection. Okay, this is the big story here. All right, get the break and a run up through, and the 140 area. Get a rejection here and start rolling over. Be looking at a possible ABC structure here. So we'll see what happens here with Bitcoin. Going to be very interesting here. The news definitely pushed this down, but without that, would we have had a a lower low in here without that. I don't know. I really don't. On the daily, you had this high, this low. You had a higher high. Would you have had a higher low in here? Without that wick? I don't know. Really don't know. But keep a very close eye in here. 118.5 is your 702. All right, if it breaks up through there, good chance it's heading higher. All right, so keep your eye on Bitcoin. That is going to be very, very interesting here. Let's go over here and take a look at Kaspa. And take a look at the total 3 market cap, right? Salt season. I know, man. I know. Believe me, I have heard myself talk about it. It is definitely, that dominance is going to roll over. No question. It's going to roll over. Let's come down here and take a look at the total 3 real quick here. It's up, $68.7 billion today. Let's go out on a weekly. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Beautiful. Right? You had the wick down through here. Look how this played out. Absolutely crazy, right? You would think the market was absolutely crashing. That's on a weekly. If you come in on a daily, look where it closed. Right on the outside of the wedge. Our close happened right there. Right on the outside of the wedge. Perfect retest. Right? Breakout, retest, go. Right? That's how this normally works out. But look, even broke down below the lower end of this. You would have thought there was probably a pile of people that went short right there, on the altcoins, right there when it broke that. And look how much this thing has sucked back up in here. This thing has come back up. It was down to 767. It has come back up 38%. 38%. That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. All right, we're looking for a run out the top here on this thing to go. The daily RSI just about reset down at the bottom. Weekly is coming down. The weekly is bearish, and the monthly looks good. Monthly is turning to the upside. All right, so we're going to be watching for the total 3 to break out this and keep heading up here. All right, this will be our alt season right here. This break up here. Let's see what we got as far as percentage left here. Got a pretty good run left here for sure. All right, and it's gonna last. It's not gonna happen. The alt season isn't gonna be over in one day or anything like that. Even that last time it lasted about 90 days. All right, about 90 days of alt season out there, and probably gonna be pretty similar, I would imagine. All right, now let's head over here to Kaspa's chart. Because these are all very, look at some of these numbers. Look at Tau up 29.5%. And getting a lot of those losses back today for sure. Kaspa back up to 6 cents after it went down under a penny. Under a penny. Man, if you got lucky enough to snag that under a penny, let me know. I would love to hear that. And what's crazy about it, when all this was happening, I unfortunately was not at my laptop. I did not know this big massive dip happened like that. Had people in the Discord, Rizzy, he hit multiple thousands of dollars on, I won't say how much, but on just one trade. Buying the bottom once this thing came down, longing it and going back up. He posted it over there in Discord. If you want to come over and join us, sign up for level 3 membership, guys. Hit that level 3. That gets you 10 hours of videos to teach you how to start drawing trend lines, looking for price targets, all that stuff, plus a link to the Discord to come trade with us. If you want to come leverage trade with us, sign up. We have 160 members over there. Would love to have you. All right, we got some really great traders over there. $15, you can make that. You should be able to make that back in no time. You know, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but just the other day we did a 10x. Can't remember if that was on cake or what that was. And then the next day we did an 8x. Right, we did a 10x one day, then an 8x the next day. And you're not talking, you know, if you had $100 on one trade, that would have turned that 100 into 1,000. And the next day would have turned that 100 into 800, or that 1,000 into 8,000, whatever way you want to look at it, you know. So two pretty decent back-to-back trades, and I'm looking to get over there tomorrow morning and start smashing this. All right, so come join us if that interests you. If you need a place to leverage trade, there's two in the description of the video. There's two links in there, one for weeks and one for BitTunix. I use both of them every single day. Great sites, a lot of great stuff for new signups, bonuses and discounts, all that stuff. So please go check them out. All right, now as far as Kaspa goes, let's see where the last video we did here. See what we had going on here. Wasn't that one? Alright, it wasn't that one. I mean, we had this lower trend line has been on here for a while. Yeah, we were looking for a pullback. You know, back down here towards 7 cents. This white line right here, right in here. Okay, right there. That's where we were looking for a pullback to come down to, and then possibly a bounce off there and head up. Right now, obviously nobody was expecting what happened, and we ended up ripping down through there. All right, now if we take a look here, let's see something here. You know, even if it did take a measured move of this thing, did it play that out? Yeah. I don't think it's, I think that's absolutely a bottom here. Let's mark this off. Right there. I think that is 100% a bottom. If we take a look at the weekly RSI, the weekly is just about reset. The monthly is perfect, right on the bottom. And the daily has got to be right, yeah, the daily is reset. This thing's starting to march back up towards the back to the upside here. Yeah, if you got in down here, good for you, because I mean already you would be up a massive amount of money. Wow, that's a 5x from the bottom. Wow, if you took leverage on that, you would be up 50x. If you got lucky enough to get anywhere near the bottom, on $1,000, all right, on $1,000 on 10x leverage, you would have $50,000 right now, and I would hold that until this alt season was over, and that would be turning into something unbelievable for sure. Now, as Kaspa works its way back up here, you want to see it retake, 7.3. All right, that would get us back inside this wedge and starting back up out of here. Okay, that daily RSI is reset. Looks great. Bullish divergence here. Oh, no, there's not. I'm sorry about that. There is not bullish divergence there. But this thing is definitely, the daily's reset. The weekly's almost reset. The 12-hour right at the bottom, heading back up towards the upside, and looking for Kaspa to make a run here. That first area to retake, like I said, right about 7.3. That would get you back inside the wedge here. And I think this stuff is going to start moving pretty fast, guys. I really do. This market, wow. I mean, these will make the, definitely, I guarantee, it shook out a pile of people, right? Can you imagine just from where that thing went down to, back to retracement? Boy, I wish I would have been on that at the time. You're looking at a 13x back up to there. So on a 10x leverage, that's 130x. $1,000, $130,000, just on one leverage trade on a 10x. If it gets back up here to the 618, up towards 13 cents. All right, but alt season is on the cusp. Bitcoin, it has to make it through 118.5 to keep heading to the upside. If it don't, it could ABC here and pull back. Or could that pull back to, well, if it does ABC, right back towards this trend line, 92,000, right around there. That would be the target for an ABC if it gets rejected here. Bitcoin dominance, right where we wanted it, right where we 59.62 right now. All right, we were looking for 60.5. Where did it come to? It ended up closing at 60.75. And what I was looking for on this was this here, out on the weekly. All right, remember our close was down here. All right, we open this up, looking for Bitcoin dominance, do this. All right, right here. And this is why I was looking for that specific area. All right, a big 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this big fifth wave down. You know, this will all be alt season this whole way down through here. You know, looking for a possible run down here. 28%, 30%, right down through there. That's what I'll be looking for. All right, thank you so much, guys. Let's go. Let's get ready. We're right on the cusp. We're in the fear. That's where we want it. They're going to get this market moving. They're going to want to kick Fomo in and get people to buy back in. They wanted them to sell. They sold. They probably lost a pile of money. They want people to Fomo back in. And here it comes. That's what they're going to do. The FOMO is going to kick in, and it's going to become real. So let's get going here. Let's get this money made. Cash in when alt season is done, and count your money when it's over. Thank you so much, guys. Talk to you soon. Have a great day, everybody.